to our summer term assemblies. I'm Mark.
And I'm Bethany, and today we want to talk to you about a very special meal that people celebrated in the Bible.
And some people still celebrate today. Bethany, what's it called?
It is called the Passover. So way back in the day, the Israelites lived in Egypt. It was not a good time for them as they were forced to be slaves. But God had another plan for them.
After about 400 years of living in Egypt and 10 terrible plagues, God gave the Israelites a special leader, a man called Moses. He was going to lead them out of slavery.
Did you know that there is a fancy word, Seder, which people use for the meal to remember this story? And the word Seder means order. It's all about retelling God's story of when the Israelites escaped from Egypt.
The Seder meal, this special meal, marks the start of the Jewish festival of Passover, which happens in around April or March in our calendar. So it's this sort of time of year. It was celebrated by families around the world. It is celebrated by families around the world.
And I'm sure lots of you probably celebrate something, be it Christmas or Diwali or Eid. And every family has its own things they like to celebrate. And so the Passover and Seder meal is one that Jewish families like to make particularly special.
So we're now going to watch a video about a Jewish family celebrating the Passover meal.
10-year-old Solly lives in Manchester with his mum, dad, brother Rafi and 2 younger sisters.
I think we get on okay. There's no major trouble. Not really.
Solly's preparing for one of the most important Jewish festivals of the year, Passover, or in Hebrew, Pesach.
At Passover, we remember the exodus of the Jewish people out from Egypt.
The Israelites were held as slaves for hundreds of years. Moses warned the Egyptian leader, Pharaoh, that God would send terrible plagues on Egypt if he didn't let the Israelites go. Plague after plague struck the Egyptians, ending up with the death of all Egyptian firstborn sons. God told Moses if the Israelites marked their homes with lamb's blood, they would be spared and their homes passed over. Eventually Pharaoh gave in and told Moses and the Israelites to go at once. They left in such a rush, their bread didn't have time to rise. That's why during Passover, we only eat unleavened bread, called matzah, and all the traces of normal bread, called chametz, must be removed from the house.
Tally, remember to clean all around the edges, yeah?
It's really hard looking for all the chametz. It's a whole month of preparation. The strength and the belief to kind of do that job is a really spiritual understanding of why we're doing that. Lots of the chametz has been put away in the shed for the week, and then there's some cupboards in the kitchen that haven't emptied, so they've just got plates and things in. And to make sure that nobody uses them by accident, they're all taped up with little signs saying chametz.
Everything needs to be ready for Passover Seder, a special meal on the first night. Each piece of food on the Seder plate reminds us what it was like for the Jewish slaves in Egypt.
We're now making the charoset, which is the paste made from sugar, cinnamon, apple wine and ground almond.
Charoset represents the mortar or cement used by the slaves to stick the pyramids together.
So, stop it.
The meat in the egg reminds us of the offerings made to God in the Holy Temple. Bitter herbs like horseradish offer the bitter suffering of the slaves in Egypt.
Can I have a glass of water?
Finally, carpas is a vegetable we dip in salt water to represent the tears of the slaves.
We are going to recreate Seder night so we can show you the experience of what happens.
Cameras can't film the real Passover Seder because Solly's family observe rules, which say you can't switch on electrical things.
Welcome to our Seder, everybody.
During the Seder, everyone drinks wine or grape juice to symbolise the joy of the Almighty, rescuing our people from slavery.
I say that this is the bread of our affliction. Now we are slaves. Next year, we're free men.
So, the night before the Israelites left Egypt on their exodus, they had a special meal where they sacrificed a lamb, and the Passover meal is celebrating that meal.
And what we have here is, as we mentioned this word before, a Seder plate. And this would be at the head of the table. So here's one which was actually brought back from Israel, which is very cool.
Excellent. Now, the first thing that would be put on the Seder plate is some parsley. And parsley was dipped in salt water before it was being eaten. And this was to remember the tears of unhappiness of the Israelites in Egypt. And the parsley goes around there.
It does. Fabulous. And then they also had horseradish. And this is a reminder of the death of so many Hebrew babies killed by Pharaoh's soldiers. So, I'm going to put some horseradish on the plate. And that one goes next to the parsley here.
Excellent. The third thing that they put on the plate was something called haroset. And the haroset represented the mortar which the Israelites used to make bricks for the Egyptians. It was made of fruit and nuts and spice and wine. And this is what it looks like. It's pretty yucky. And it goes here.
Cool. And then they also had some lettuce. We eat lettuce, don't we? That's quite a normal thing. But this was another reminder of how bitter and annoyed they were for being in slavery in Egypt. So I'm going to put a bitter lettuce on. And that's going to go here.
That's it. And the next thing was a lamb shank bone. This was a reminder of the lamb that was sacrificed for the meal before the Israelites left Egypt. They painted blood on their doors so that they knew that they were Israelites.
They knew they were Israelites.
Israelites. The shank bone goes there.
Super. Now, they also had a roasted egg. And this was a symbol of just the sadness and mourning at the sacrifice, because it was a bit of a sad thing as well. So the egg is going to go here. Ish.
And the last thing for the Passover meal was something called matzah. Now, this is matzah bread, and it's very thin. It's like a water biscuit, really, because it didn't have any yeast in it. It didn't have time to rise. So the matzah bread is called unleavened bread, and it's the only type of bread that Jewish people eat during the festival of the Passover.
Wow. Well, I think that's all the things on the plate.
Yeah.
But as Mark mentioned a bit earlier, they sacrificed a lamb before they left Egypt. And I don't know if you can remember, but a couple of weeks ago in one of our Easter assemblies, we heard about how Jesus had a Passover meal with his friends.
His friends, yeah.
We did.
We did. And that was because Jesus was to become the lamb sacrifice for all of us.
And that was when he died on the cross, wasn't
That's
it?
right,
That's
yeah.
how he performed that action. And so, we're now going to have a song which has some actions and you might want to join in. But this is after Jesus died, he rose again and came back to life. And so that's why we're going to sing Happy Day about when Jesus rose again after dying on the cross.
Brilliant.